Okay, hello. This is going to be a short tutorial video on how to fly the STRYK VMC Recovery to Nellis Air Force Base using DCS World version 2. So without further ado, let's start the video. I'm just gonna speak as I watch the video here. So the first thing you want to keep in mind is that the arrival is a VMC, it's a visual meteorological conditions only procedure, which means you need to remain clear of all clouds and maintain VMC at all times. So basically what you're seeing here is there's quite a large buildup of clouds, and basically we just need to avoid that. So I'm out in the airspace in the 60 series ranges, specifically range 63B. The 60 series ranges are north of Indian Springs or Creech Air Force Base, and it's basically for conventional weapons delivery stuff, a fighter weapon school, that sort of thing. So when you're out there in these 60 series ranges and you want to return to Nellis, this is one of several arrivals that you can fly. So it looks like I've gotten past the clouds here. I'm just gonna make a little left-hand turn. You can see in the HUD, I've got STRYK selected as the steer point. Basically, I'm just making a left-hand turn around this cloud buildup, and I'm going to proceed direct to STRYK. If you want to follow along and have the VMC recovery plate, it's not really an approach plate, but it is a visual depiction of the arrival. It's in the in-flight guide. That's you can retrieve from the forums on the 476 website. So basically, you're looking to cross STRYK at or above 10,000 feet. So I was up high in the airspace block, and I'm trying to descend down here. Again, it's at or above 10,000 feet, so you don't have to be at 10,000, just at or above. So I'm on my way downhill, and again, hey, surprise, there's another cloud in front of me, so I'm going to have to deviate a little left, of course, just to avoid that buildup, remain VMC. The lighting and shadows of DCS2 are pretty dramatic, so I'm very pleased. I hope you guys are too. There's that big cloud of buildup that we're going around. I got the idea in my head that I might go ahead and proceed direct to the next waypoint, which was the 296 radial from Nellis at the 14 DME. But the desired track for that waypoint was 080. It was a little bit early to turn, so that's kind of why I did the little dance around the clouds. So we're in the turn now, direct to that waypoint. That it's not really a real waypoint. It's simply a place bearing distance, a PBD waypoint. So it's the 296 radial from Nellis VORTAC at the 14 DME point. And you can see that in the HUD. I've simply labeled it as LSV 296 for 14. We're proceeding direct there now, but again, there's another cloud buildup in front of us, so we're going to go around that. And again, because this isn't really a strict IFR procedure, the fact that we're deviating around this stuff, it's not a problem. I mean, we're not going to get too far off the beaten track, but it's not like you have to fly the black line or the magenta line if you're used to flying Boeings or whatever. All right, so we've managed to find our way around this cloud bank, and we're going to make a turn back direct to that place bearing distance waypoint. We want to cross that at or above, or I'm sorry, at 9,500. So there's the level off, 9,500 feet. You can see our next waypoint in front of us, that kind of mountain range. The next point's going to be Gas Peak. It's just a little bit of a left-hand turn. So we've got 3 miles to go, 30 seconds of drive time. Once we reach that waypoint, I'm just going to make that little dog leg to the left over Gas Peak. And then I'll take the time to talk about it now. I'm going to turn very early over Gas Peak. It's a 90-degree turn over Gas Peak south down to Simmons. It takes a while to make that turn, and so you need to lead that turn by a fairly good margin. I chose to use about 1.5 miles. Probably could have used 2 miles because it gets a little bit aggressive, which, it's a fighter, it's not a big deal, but we are in the terminal area, so I try to avoid, 6 degrees of bank and 2 G-turns flying around a Class B airspace. All right, so there's Gas Peak. You can see the TD box is sitting right on top of the peak. We need to cross that at or above 8,500 feet. So I'm coming down kind of slowly. You can see the DME winding down 2 miles. I'm going to use about 1.5 miles of lead. I'm going to start my right-hand turn, looking for a 165 heading down to Simmons, which we need to cross at 5,500 feet. So we need to keep coming downhill. You can see the required heading down at the bottom of the HUD. We're looking for 165 is ideal. I don't quite make it. If I had started my turn a little bit earlier, we would have nailed it right on. And then you can use as a visual reference, looking at the window on the rollout. Hey, look at that. We're looking right at the southern portion of the strip, and we're the TD box is sitting right over an overpass on a highway, and we're looking down a major north-south road that runs right into the Las Vegas Strip. So if you're looking at the canopy, flying visually, it's a good geo-ref for you. So we're coming downhill, passenger 7 for 5,500. Going to be a dogleg turn to the left next. And basically we're going to fly between 2 golf courses, Craig Ranch and I think it's Shadow Creek. I'm not looking at the plate, so I'm taking a guess. Hopefully I got that right. So we need to cross this at or above 5,500 feet. Then we're going to start our left-hand turn in towards Craig. Right. We're passing a beam, station passage. And this is going to be about a 120 heading. And you'll see on the rollout here 2 very prominent landmarks. Right outside the left HUD frame by the G meter is 1 golf course, and right outside the HUD frame on the right is another golf course. We need to fly right between those 2. That's for noise abatement. We fly that corridor. All right, there's level out at 5,000 feet. Don't forget to push up the power when you level off. Lots of students in the simulator tend to forget that, get slow, get distracted, stall, crash, bad things happen. So we're 5,000 feet. We're going to pass a beam, Craig, and then we can start downhill. There it is. We're going to maintain 250 knots. Have been for a little while, actually. And we need to maintain at or above 4,000 feet until we cross Las Vegas Boulevard, which is a road that parallels the runways at Nellis. You can see it just right at the bottom of the HUD right now, at the top of the UFC. It kind of runs off from our 3 to 9 o'clock. Here you can see it there extending towards Vegas, and off to the left extending past the runways. All right, we're over that, 4,000 feet or above. And now we're looking for 3,500 feet for initial, 250 knots. Actually, we could fly the initial at 300 knots, but that's a pretty tight turn. I imagine this is going to be pretty sporty if you're hanging on as number 2, and flight lead's making this turn to initial. It's kind of wild, so I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. So there we are. I'm a little bit low, kind of missed my altitude a little bit. We should be at 3,500 feet, 250 knots. Always, always, always fly initial on the inside runway. If you need to switch runways, if tower switches you, you can always just fly a wider pattern out to get to the right-hand side. But go ahead and fly the initial up the left side on 3 left. Use the TLAR method. That looks about right for our break. There's the solar farm down there. Watching the video, you have time to look at stuff you don't see when you're actually flying. That's nice. Looking for our reciprocal heading, 210. A little bit of power back in. Don't want to get slow. Gears coming. Boards are out. Landing flaps for a beam threshold. You guys know the drill for this. That looks about right. Drop the nose, we're looking for 10 degrees. Initially over bank. We're looking for on speed or slightly fast. I get a little bit slow. There it is. I'm slightly slow already. No es bueno. Don't want to do that. So maintain on speed or slightly fast throughout the final turn, the base to final turn. Maintain side of the threshold. I have a very light left quartering headwind. Slightly overshooting, but it's only about 8 knots. No big deal. All right, we're on speed, 1 mile, slightly high. TVV on the threshold. On speed, slightly fast.
Altitude, altitude.
Gonna keep the power in. Move the TVV to the far end of the threshold. Idle. Get the boards all the way out. Derotate smoothly. And we're just going to roll it out to the departure end. No brakes required. We got a nice big runway. Actually, runway's so long, I'm actually going to push the power up to keep the speed up a little bit. Get too slow. All right, so we're down here near taxi speed. I'm going to go ahead and clear to the cold side of the runway. It's something you'd typically do if you were landing in a flight of 2 or more aircraft. Once you're down the taxi speed, you clear over to the cold side. It helps with things like reduced runway separation between like types of airplanes. Between one fighter to the next, I think you could get down as low as 3,000 feet of longitudinal separation. I'm flying by myself today, so it's no big deal. All right, boards in, flaps up. We're going to clear the runway, and I make a no-no. Should stop the airplane with my head down to do the after landing check, but I kept it rolling, so almost missed the EOR here, but don't want to be taxiing around with the strobe lights on. It would be unprofessional. And yes, instead of turning off the pitot heat right here while I'm looking at the panel, I go all the way to the other side, disarm the ejection seat, and back to the pitot heat. Very professional. And hey, look at that. While I was doing that, almost missed the EOR. There's the anti-skid. Not my best day of flying. To be honest, I thought I was going to stop the video once I landed. Didn't even think I'd be taxiing back, so this is all bonus. All right, that's basically going to do it. I'm just going to park it here in the EOR and shut down. And that is how you fly the STRYK VMC Recovery to Nellis Air Force Base in DCS World 2. I will do a similar video for some of the other arrivals and for the A10 TAC West and TAC North departures, and anything else that you guys might request. So I hope this proved useful to some of you guys who aren't familiar with Nellis or with the area. And let me know what you guys think and if you want to see anything else. All right, I hope this helped you guys out. We'll see you next time.